So now that we have our first document up, then we're gonna start now working with the invoice router section of the application. And what this is gonna be doing is that we're gonna be using this section to separate the invoices and send them as a single invoice. And we can do that by doing the following. You're gonna go ahead and always under the company number, it is always going to be JJMI. And if you press the letter J, it will automatically come up. I want you to use or get used to using the tab key. It's a lot easier to navigate this way. So I'm gonna press tab, and now if I don't know the vendor number, which is the prime number, that is the next field, I'm gonna go ahead and go to the vendor name, and I am going to start typing the name of the vendor. Control, and you don't have to type at all. So here, if I press the key tab again, it's gonna go ahead and populate for me. And if you notice, it populated there and it populated over here as well. After that, I want to put my invoice number, and it has to be exactly as it is on your invoice. Spaces, dots, dashes, letters, everything. So in this case, 21908. Then I'm gonna tab over to the invoice date, and this is 0109. I can do the date as a 6-digit field, so 01097. The next field is Route 2. All of your documents are gonna go to Cheryl Steger for audit. She checks that the job numbers are put in correctly, the cost codes are used properly, and all of those things. Now, a lot of these codes are being used in SmartSpro, so you should be familiar with that. But if you ever have a question, Cheryl can be the one to answer that. So again, we're gonna route things to Cheryl because that's our point of contact at the corporate office. So if I start her username is her first initial and last name. So if you start typing SST, that's her username. Once it comes up, all you have to do is press tab and it goes to the next field. I'm gonna put my number. I'm gonna go ahead and fill in the amount, the voucher number. The voucher number is something that you don't have to worry about. This is something, it's a unique field that is issued by our accounting system, so you will always skip that information. After that, we have a job number. Again, everybody has a different job number when it comes to cost coding. So you just have to learn your jobs. Cheryl can give you more input on that. In this particular case, I'm going to use this San Antonio locations job number. And you have to be careful to actually input the information exactly how it is in the system. Like no more zeros, no less zeros, no dashes. I mean, exactly how it's given to you and by either Cheryl or by SmartSpro, whichever one you're using to guide you. Because if you don't, it can actually create problems when it comes through the automated system through the accounting process. Here, I'm gonna put 127.50. Now, the reference. The reference is normally going to be a very specific type of information, especially for work orders and things like that. So for the most part, Cheryl will give you reference or guidance on what to do in that field. The Smarts PO is going to be your actual purchase order number issued by SmartSpro. In this case, this is going to be B45439. And tax code. Tax code, it only applies when your vendors do not charge you taxes for items and we have to pay those. I'm not gonna cover too much about that, but it's basically a code that we issue you. So if Cheryl tells you, okay, this items need to be taxed and this is your code, those are the codes that you will be using. Another thing to keep in mind is that in this particular example, we only have one line item for the full distribution amount. But for instance, if there was multiple line items, 5,100 is material. So let's say that only $100 of this was supposed to be material. Well, then all I do is come back here, and then I can either use a different job number or the same one. And let's say that this was, the rest of it was gas. So I'm gonna go and say 2750 as gas. You see the amount remained that I have here is 2750. Once I go through all of the fields, it will zero out. So that's another thing. You can do multiple distributions. You can actually do as many as, I think, 25 or 30 distributions lines with the system. I've never seen it run out of lines. So you just keep adding until you are done distributing your amount. The other field that I didn't touch on is the GL account. For your purposes, you wouldn't use this field unless indicated, so I would also ignore and just skip over to distribution amount. So I'm gonna go ahead and delete this line, and I'm gonna change my amount. Okay, now that I have completed the distribution, everything is ready to go, I'm going to route it. And this is how I route the document. I press this little envelope icon and it's gonna go. Once the first page disappears from my screen, you notice I have now one. This is the first page of 16, which means that other page is already gone. The other thing that you're gonna do here is go ahead and add this next page to the previous document, and you do that by clicking this attach page icon. So I'm going to click it once, and then this page also belongs to that same document, so I'm going to click it again. Now this is a brand new invoice, so here I start the process one more time, and I'm going to say J&J. Again, I don't know my vendor number here, so I'm just going to type in the beginning of the name. If there's multiple matches to what I typed, then I can select. If not, then it's just gonna do that. Here my invoice number is 1658.1, 1231.16. I'm gonna send this to Cheryl, and it's for 3100. My job number is cost code 5240. And on this one, I know that they put things like payment request number 1. If I have a purchase order, I'm going to go ahead and include it in here. But again, for the reference, Cheryl, leave it blank until Cheryl tells you exactly what she wants in there. And now this is ready to go again. I'm going to go ahead and press route document. And again, I attach by clicking the add a page until I come to the next invoice. Make sure that before you click add that you wait for your next page to show up, because it is possible that you can attach too many to the document by mistake. And we start the process again. Also, if you are having trouble reading this, you can use the icons up here to make it bigger. Like I can use the one that kind of fits it to the screen. It fits it to the height, or it fits it to the width. done. Now, attach a page, and to the next invoice. So now let's start all over again. And I know that this makes all the rest of the pages that are left on the batch belong to the same invoice. So I can now go ahead and say attach, use the icon that says attach all pages, and it will automatically put all the rest of those pages to that last invoice. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to say yes. And I have finished indexing my batch, and I have nothing else to do, so I'm going to say no.